Hello, people of the I Never Live channel. I feel like I've just started that really slow. Sorry, it's not usually this awkward. Welcome to the stream, because right now we're live on the I Never Live channel. You can come and join us. It's on twitch.tv/inever, where you can join these awful people and mock and bully me for around an hour straight, 2 to 3 times a week. It's great, but if you don't want to do that, just subscribe to this channel where you can get the highlights, because on this channel we speak about things that I wouldn't necessarily cover on the main, and today we're speaking about Ezra Miller. Now, Ezra is obviously a very famous actor. They are known for being in things such as DC. They played The Flash. They were in some film about a wallflower. I've never seen it. Don't really know the title of it. Don't particularly care. But they are they were a very beloved actor. Ezra is somebody that at one point around 4 years ago was pretty much known for being the best part of the DCEU. I covered this in a big deep dive video recently, and I'd advise you to go watch that, because for a little small recap, Ezra, they're pretty controversial, chat. They're pretty controversial. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what Ezra Miller has actually done. Okay. It seems that pretty much everyone at this point knows what Ezra Miller has done. There's a lot. There is a lot. There is a lot of controversies to do with this person. There are a lot of abuse allegations, grooming allegations, erratic behavior, which is basically code for assault. They have pretty much just been doing a lot of insane things. There has been accusations of grooming an 18-year-old. There has been actions of allegedly hosting a cult. And I covered all of this in a video recently where I actually went deeper into it that I think a lot of articles actually have. There are definitely a lot of fishy things that has gone on in the whole Ezra Miller debacle. It's very much not as it's not as clear as it's painted to be, and I very much recommend you go watch my video on that. But today we are actually going to cover a new recent update with Ezra, because it came out yesterday that Ezra has been charged with a felony burglary in Vermont. I think that's how you pronounce it. Not an American, don't really, yeah. The actor has been charged over an alleged incident in May, adding to the Flash's star's mounting legal woes and reports of erratic behavior. Because it's basically becoming a meme at this point, chat, of where Ezra Miller, once a month, blesses us. They bless us with, again, another arrest, or again, another batshit insane headline, which is Ezra Miller is holding these children in a farm with weapons and stuff like that. And it's every month one of these headlines comes out, and there is usually a deeper story behind them, as I cover in my main channel video. But about about a few days after I uploaded that video, this comes out. Yeah, so I wanted to take a look at this. I haven't read this yet. I've seen the headline. I've seen it looks very, very insane, and it seems that things are just getting more and more insane with this human being. I don't even know how that's possible, though. How do you keep doing all of these things? They'll get a lawsuit on their hands. Yeah, I think they've got plenty of those at this point, probably. Over several bottles of alcohol that were taken from a residence while the homeowners were not present. After police consulted surveillance footage and interviewed witnesses, Miller was located and charged before midnight on Sunday. It's this person is a millionaire. Why? Again, this has to be true, right? Because this comes from The Guardian. This isn't a shitty little American newspaper. This is a pretty official news source from the UK. So, yeah, I think this is pretty official. This has definitely happened, and you've got to wonder, what the is going on? I'm just confused at why this multi-millionaire actor, who has absolutely everything a human being could ask for in life, is getting involved in so much wacky shit every single month. And at this point, I'm not going to be surprised if we ever see a headline saying Ezra Miller is in jail, because there is a movement of hashtag Ezra Miller is innocent, and I'm sure in the next few months there probably are going to be a few things coming out here and there of Ezra disproving some stories here and there, because we did go through some of that in my main channel video, as I keep saying. But ultimately, there are a lot of headlines about Ezra, and you've only got to start to think, how many of them are true? I mean, some of them probably aren't, but some of them probably have more context. But ultimately, there are a lot of insane things. I barely even went through this bit, but it's a woman who visited Ezra Miller's Airbnb in Iceland said everyone there seemed hypnotized. This was more allegations that Ezra was allegedly hosting a cult in Iceland, and we will go through that. But I want to go through this again with Ezra of the burglary, because I'm confused to why this multi-million-dollar actor is stealing bottles of alcohol. The police said Miller was issued a citation to appear for the arraignment in Vermont Superior Court on the 26th of September. The felony charges add to Miller's mounting legal woes and reports of erratic behavior. I swear this article said that like 4 times now. They are really, it's like, you know, when you kind of like need to finish an essay, but you haven't reached the word count yet? That kind of feels like what this is. The 29-year-old actor was arrested twice earlier this year in Hawaii for disorderly conduct and harassment at karaoke bar in March, and then second-degree assault a month later. And like, yeah, again, as I keep saying, there is a lot of context missing in a lot of these articles, but at the same time, me. I mean, there are so many things coming out about this person. It's like, what more can you really say? I mean, why? Just, it's all I can really say. Why? I think they need to see a professional. Well, yeah, that's a big thing. It's like, why is Ezra Miller not seeking professional help? Because regardless of whatever you think of Ezra, I think we can kind of all come to the conclusive opinion that they are absolutely not stable. They definitely need help, and they definitely just need to kind of step away from wherever they are in their life and do something different, because it's clear that they're going down a path of like, what is going on? You are not going to, this doesn't have a happy ending. It really doesn't. Like, you're gonna end up in a jail cell eventually, because as much as their fans can be like, oh, well, you know, there is context here and there, it's like, okay, but context won't keep this person out of a jail cell. But yeah, I also want to look into this article about the hypnotization of people with Ezra in Iceland and in the cult and stuff like that. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. I just can't believe that this person is a famous actor. You wouldn't think it. You would think that this is like the local nut job, like just going around town like terrorizing things. Like in my town, there was this person known for basically just going around the town and harassing people, and that sounds mental, but this was just what this person was known for. They were called like 50p Chris or something, and they would basically just go around the town I used to live in and just harass random old people and like start fights with them. And apparently like one time my step granddad, God rest his soul, like he got harassed by this person, and my granddad just fucking just in the face. Apparently that's what my step granddad did. He's Welsh. You don't fuck with Welsh people. And that's what I can equivalent this to. Ezra Miller is becoming like the local fucking nut job of Hawaii, Iceland, and LA. But yeah, let's take a look at this. A woman who visited Ezra Miller's Airbnb in Iceland in March 2020 told The Insider that she felt like everyone was hypnotized and compared the location to a commune. And this is something I have kind of noticed. Ezra Miller is the James Charles of Hollywood. To be fair, I don't know if James Charles is like going around and beating people up in Hawaii. I mean, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. I'd actually prefer James to do that than message 16-year-olds. The allegation is part of a larger investigation into the actor's behavior by reporters Malcorka Lycia and Katie Warren. Miller is known for playing the Flash in the DC Extended Universe for their role as Credence Barebone in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is not actually a Fantastic franchise. Fantastic Beasts franchise is terrible. Now, in the investigation, this is the juicy bit. This is the bit we haven't covered. Now, in the Insider's investigation, one woman says Miller's behavior inside a luxury Airbnb they were renting was equally troubling. The woman who visited Miller's Airbnb, stop, just say what happened. You don't need to fill in. You don't need to get your word count up. It's a repeat. At the Airbnb, sources told Insider that Miller's personal assistant and spiritual advisor, Jasper Youngbear, would lead group meditations, and that Miller even alluded to possessing supernatural powers. I mean, they are the fucking Flash at the end of the day. You would hope so. Youngbear also told many locals that he had cut off at least one of his fingers during a ritual ceremony. Youngbear did not respond. Like, ultimately, there is technically, like, no evidence of this. But, like, the fact this is actually in, a journalistic piece of information is, it's genuinely amazing. Like, I know I'm meant to be all serious in that, but it is just hilarious. It really is. Miller also exhibited erratic mood swings while anyone tried to leave the house. Several sources told me. I just imagine like Ezra being like, no, guys, don't leave. Like, seriously, I am actually going to like go at light speed. Trust me, it's gonna happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Ezra actually thinks like they're Credence or the Flash at this point. The woman who visited the house in March told the Insider reports that the actor became angry when she tried to use the phone in front of them. They even told her that they could read minds. So they're like a combination of Dumbledore, the Flash, and Professor X, which it would be a really good final boss to like the MCU. There's a lot of talk who's going to be the final boss. Is it going to be, I don't know, Kang the Conqueror? Is it going to be Doctor Doom, Galactus, even fucking MODOK or whatever his name is? I think it should be this weird hybrid Ezra Miller that is being described as here. Don't drag Dumbledore into this. Dumbledore is not a good person. Dumbledore used and abused Harry Potter. Not in that way, not in the James Charles way, but he did, and he's not a good person. This is weird though. This is creepy, says Ash. Yeah, it is. She told the Insider she felt trapped and intimidated before eventually texting a family friend. I don't know why I'm doing ASMR here. Dumbledore says, chill out, bruh. Yeah, I agree. People watching this video are going to be like, what is going on? I was a bit traumatized for a while. It was the weirdest day. I would actually, like, I'm not like doubting this person's trauma, but I would love to record, you know, like those old 2018 Shane Dawson documentaries. I would love to do one of those with Ezra Miller. I would love to record a documentary where it's like a day in the life of Ezra Miller. Ezra, if you are watching this for some weird reason, please, my DMs are open on Instagram. Let's get it going. Let's get it cooking. I'd probably get cancelled for working with you, but we can do it. There's a lot of people that have visited this place. Another 23-year-old woman who visited the house wished to remain anonymous, told Insider that Miller's attitude would shift without warning. She described the incident of Cass changing in a song in the house, which caused Miller to go into a fly of rage. I mean, also, to be fair, I can relate to that. If I'm listening to a bop and somebody changes it, I'm gonna be pissed off. They snapped from being a friendly host to this really angry person. Incidents like this one described reportedly sparked rumors in Iceland that Miller was running a cult at the Airbnb. There's a link. 4 signs that someone you know has joined a cult. Okay, let's see if we can attribute this to Ezra. The person is in an especially vulnerable state. Yeah, there seems to be like this weird trend with Ezra and like the vulnerable state thing that it says here. Because like, as much as we can joke about it and like Ezra imposing vulnerable states on people, during my video there was kind of like this trend of Ezra would be friends with a person in this vulnerable state and this vulnerable state. So it's like Ezra clearly, I think, probably has like a whole like power dynamic ego thing of where they will choose friends of where they're in a situation which is worse than their own situation. This is something a lot of manipulative people do. They will only become friends with people who aren't on the same level as them, aren't on the same position of power as them, because, you know, with a lot of rich people out there, they will choose to be friends with people who aren't exactly doing too well in the world because it makes them feel better about themselves, but it also means that they have some form of power over them. The person becomes close to a charismatic figure who begins to have influence over them. I mean, I guess you could say that Ezra is that charismatic figure. So I guess this is kind of describing Ezra as the cult leader here. And then it goes, the person is involved in a group of religious principles that differ from the mainstream. I mean, based on everything we read in the previous article, I mean, I wouldn't be too shocked if that's the case. I agree 100%. I don't think we can make anybody want to help, and sadly in those cases there needs to be legal involvement in some ways, even long-term mental health facilities. I agree with you. I think Ezra does need mental health help. It's very clear. Even if you're a mental health fan, I think put your hands up if you're a mental health fan in the chat. No, even if you're an Ezra Miller fan, I think you can agree that Ezra needs some form of mental health. Help, not health. The person is not able to step away from the community even for a short step of time. And I guess these things do kind of line up with everything that Ezra does, you know? Maybe they do want a cult. I don't know. I mean, I'm yet to see any evidence of it, but I think what it more is that they just have like a big friend of weirdos. You know, and how in Stranger Things that they think that the Hellfire cult or club is like an actual cult. I think that it might actually be a case of that. I think they might just be a bunch of weirdos, and the people in Iceland are like, that's a bit odd. They're probably in a cult. I think that's probably more than what it actually is. It just seems with Ezra, things are getting worse and worse and absolutely even more worse. And you've just got to think to yourself, when does this end? Like, they really just are on some weird Doomslayer rampage. I don't know, man. I'm going to conclude this by saying I don't know what the next thing is going to be, but Ezra is probably going to be in some news headline by like next week. I mean, I will keep this channel the place where I update everything until I do a proper main channel video covering all the new stuff. But yes, this is once again Ezra Miller getting worse and worse. Please comment your opinions down below and also comment beans down below. And if you're watching this right now, chat, comment beans in the chat section. And follow my social medias. It's all in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.